Hands up. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Bandit's Cave. Hands up. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Bandit's Cave. We'll see if this lasts. Hands up. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Bandit's Cave. Gotta get rid of that echo. There we go. That might be better. Hi, folks. Sorry about the mask. I may take it off. I don't know. I had a bunch of dental work done this week, so I guess I'm being a little shy about that. But I don't know. I may take it off anyway. I realized a minute ago it's going to be hard to drink coffee through it. Good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome you guys into the stream this morning. Francisco was here early. I don't know if he's still in, if he stepped out, but he was here about, well, his time, about 5 or 6 o'clock. Probably Ashley. I'm not sure who all I'm going to watch. There's going to be so many people. I don't know how many people are on. I just heard Carlos say that Jeff or somebody was going to be on stream after he left this morning. So I probably will. It makes me look dangerous. I am dangerous, Carol. Don't tell anybody. I don't know if you can see my hat. This is the whole reason I have the mask on. I've never been to a dentist or an oral surgeon that gave me a hat. But I have a mouthful of studs and some open spaces that I'm covering up today. But I don't know. Like I said, it may have to come off because I've got to be able to drink coffee through it. I should have put a straw hole through it. Thank you, Ashley. Well, Carol, I'm really not dangerous. My bark is worse than my bite as a rule. Oh, I asked Teddy if he wanted to get up, and he didn't seem so sure he wanted to wake up. So let me see if you can see him. I don't know if I can do this or not. But what he did was he rolled over and looked the other way. Hey, turn around here. Look at Carol. I don't know. Can you guys see Teddy? He's decided he's not gonna get up. Oh, Carol, I don't buy it by the pod, so I didn't know. It's not cheap. Turn around. Say hi. Not you, Simon. Okay, let me see if I can redo this camera now. I'll never get it back in the right spot. Close enough. As you guys can see, Teddy, wouldn't you want to come up? Huh? Come here. Simon said he'd come up. You want to say hi to the folks online? Say hi to Ashley, and there's John, Dave, and Carol. You want to say hi? This is our other big boy. He's a chunky monster. He's probably heavier than Teddy, but he's shorter than Teddy, and he's not as long, so he looks a lot chunkier. He's a short-legged cat compared to Teddy, anyway. Teddy's long legs. John, so if you don't mind, is your son okay? And I'll leave it up to you to say whatever you want to say about it or not about it. And I don't know if I said happy birthday or not, John, but since I probably didn't, happy birthday. I'm proud. I got that little skull right there lined up right on my nose. That's not bad. Considering I did it blind. I want to tell everybody I appreciate you being here today. I know there's a lot of options this morning. Some of you, I'm sure, are multitasking. Okay, thank you, Ashley. I may not last till 12 today anyway because I've got my mouth's still a bit sore, and if I talk too long, it tends to irritate. I guess my tongue flapping irritates some of my gums where they're, I don't know what the right word is, where they've been assaulted or insulted. Oh, the heck with it. You guys might as well see me. Just said I'm embarrassed by my teeth situation, but it is what it is. Now I can drink my coffee easier. Wow, 350 injured. I heard about the 8 dead, and they said there were a lot of people injured, but I didn't realize that many, and that's man, that's a lot of people. I don't know if they'll ever really figure out what happened. I mean, those things have happened in the past, and you just don't. I guess that's when herd mentality kind of takes over humans. Hey, Jay, welcome. Good to see you this morning. You know, if you put a herd of cattle together, I'm not comparing people to cattle, but the herd mentality idea, you know, and something spooks the ones in the back, then they start pushing and hollering and shoving and horning the ones in the front. So people seem to do the same thing, and I don't know if they'll ever figure out what caused it, but I'd be willing to bet somebody in the back of the crowd was doing something that got the other ones trying to get out of the way, and pretty soon you had a crush. What really? Well, it bothers me a lot that 8 people died. Some of them were 10. There was at least one 10-year-old kid in that group. So I don't know how many kids died in it. They were all. I did hear one either fire department personnel or law person, local law enforcement person, say that they ranged in age from 10 to about 28. So hell, to me, they were all kids. Houston, I believe, wasn't it, John? Oh, okay. They showed pre-concert pictures or video of people storming the gates to begin with. I don't know, maybe that's why I stay away from those places. I'm going to say one thing about that, what I know so far, and I'll beg forgiveness if it offends, but you know, when the Mandalay Bay shooting happened out in Las Vegas, there was a huge crowd, and something always bothered me. Of course, when they started shooting, people started doing the same thing, and there were hundreds there were a lot of people shot, but there was a lot of people injured from the crowd. But one of the things that upset me about that one was the performers on stage didn't say anything that they ever showed on video. They just got out. And this guy last night, I don't know his name, but at least he was trying to point out injured people for the medics and things to get to. And I thought that was, maybe he wasn't doing anything special, but it always bothered me that the guy that was in Las Vegas just left. He didn't say, take cover, or people get out, or people get down, he just looked after number one, which I guess is what we do. But he was in a position where he could have at least said something. Perhaps got the police or medical units there quicker. I don't know. That just always kind of bothered me that he just walked. There's Tracy Glenn. Well, thank you, Tracy. I just saw you wearing your Reese Cup shirt. And for most of you in here already know, but Tracy was in Magic Kingdom. He was on Carlos's stream a little while ago. Tracy, do you guys plan on streaming from the MK today also? Or tomorrow? Really appreciate you coming by and hitting that like button. That means a lot to me. Thank you. I missed something. I'm going to assume we're talking about It's a Small World again, since Jay said she hates that ride. Hey, Dave. Good morning. How about those Braves? And if I apologize if I'm lisping or talking funny today. It's the gap I've got in my teeth right now. Until I get that fixed, I'm probably going to be talking this way. All right, Tracy, thanks for stopping by. Say hi to everybody. Really appreciate you coming in today. You guys have a great time at Magic Kingdom. Wish I was there with you. That's right. Go Braves. That was, I really enjoyed that. Needless to say. And I don't personally have that much against the Astros as a rule. Although some of them kind of, well, never mind. But I do, I hate the cheating thing happening, because I think by and large they were good enough not to have to cheat. But anyway, that's all under the bridge now. Tennessee beat them. Hey, Ashley, I forgot about that. Well, good. So, there's at least 3 of us in here to celebrate. Oh, I have a long history with the Braves. Which boat? The Small World boat almost slipped over? Well, I'll have to go back and watch that. Did they get it on? Was it on the live stream? I'll have to run that back and look for that after a while. I didn't see that part. Those guys will get kicked out of the park if they're not careful, having too much fun. I was reading a note I made here on my desk, and I'm not sure what I meant. That's bad when you write yourself a note and then can't figure out what you were trying to say. Well, I'm game for that, Ashley. I'd be glad to go down. I'd lend a hand. I'll save as many as I can, and not have anybody have to save me. I can at least direct traffic. I'd like to be down there with you guys or anybody. I've yet to be able to meet anybody. Well, I've only met one person. I've met Cherie, Surfer Girl, and her husband. So I would love to get down there with the crowd. I think I'd like to get down there with the crowd and meet everybody. Hey, Brenda Pruitt. Good morning, ma'am. Brenda's got a sale going on right now in her Etsy shop. A shameless plug here for Brenda's shop. Sunny Windows, 1957. She's got a couple of Christmas aprons on. She's making a couple more right now. When are you going down, Ashley? Or are you there now? You know what? I should have Brenda's Etsy email here. I don't. Oh wow, I came up with everything but her. Etsy.com. Well, okay, Brenda, that's not working. What am I doing wrong? Oh, it's just 57, isn't it? No. All right, I'm hopeless. I can't find it. Sunny Windows 57 at Etsy. Well, I thought that's what it was. Oh, you're not a moderator. I had to allow it to be shown. All right, Ashley, we'll be here. My nose is itching. You'll see that I took my mask off already, Brenda. I decided just to go with it. I can stand the embarrassment today. One of the hardest things about having teeth pulled is I'm having to, everything I'm eating is near liquid. My gums are all cut up from being. Okay, well, that's good. You'd say that anyway because you see me every day. I'm going to have to say, if anybody else lived in East Tennessee, I would highly recommend. I would have to recommend my oral surgeon because I believe she's a Jedi Master teeth remover. She actually did a really good job. I've had teeth pulled before from time to time, and some of them were a nightmare, both before and after. And I've had less pain and less irritation from these, all in all, than I've had any others. The deep pain that you usually feel with, or I have felt with teeth, especially as much work as she did in my mouth, just wasn't there. It hurts. I still have swollen places, and they're tender, but they're not. It's not a deep bone hurt. I have, and she confirmed this, but I have really dense, strong lower jaw bones. And when I had my wisdom teeth taken out at 21, they were impacted, and it was so thick and heavy back there that the dentist back then just had to break them out in pieces. And man, was I miserable after that ordeal. I felt like he'd had both feet in my mouth by the time he was finished, but the teeth came out in chunks, so he couldn't get them out. And I've had other dentists kind of have similar problems in the past. I've had had to have a couple other teeth fixed, and I had one that got a dry socket, was really painful, and last couple I had removed, just hurt and for several days. But she just did a good job. Now, I was in the seat for a long time. I found out. Brenda told me. I had no idea. I told Brenda a lot of lies, apparently, because I didn't know. I said I walked to the car, but she told me they wheeled me out there in a wheelchair. So I don't remember much of anything. That's part of the good part, because I just soon not know. But no, she did well. She was able to put. I'll be embarrassed to show you one. This lower one, because I have so much bone mass, she was able to screw in a implant structure right away instead of having to wait. Most of the time, you have to wait several months to do that, apparently. And because my bone's in such good shape, and I'm going to be honest with you, I was afraid it wouldn't be. But since it was, she was able to go ahead and do that, so it took a little extra time. But I'm ready now for a cap. I just have to let them heal up a little bit, and then I'll be ready to have a cap screwed on top. I'll have teeth again. At least down there, tops are probably going to be I probably have to have some kind of other replacement done up there, but that's what you get for wearing out your teeth by 65. That's what happened to some of the front teeth I had. They got so thin that they just started chipping off and eventually broke off altogether. Those front ones weren't cavities or anything. They just broke. Even though I think part of it had to do with being on narcotics for 10 or 12 years or whatever it was. That's a whole nother story. I've been off that stuff for several years, so. And it can be kicked, and I was never what I'd call hooked on it, but my body was kind of hooked on it. Coming off was not easy. I don't know if any of you have ever been through that, but it's tough. I can't imagine somebody who was truly addicted to how hard to opiates, how hard that is, because my body was, what's the word? Acclimated to them. That's not the right word, though. Well, Dave, I think that probably depends on how long you want it to set out and be tempting. I guess that depends on what kind of candy it is, too. We made sure ours got gone this year. We didn't buy a lot, and we had just the right number of. Somehow Brenda managed to give it all away so that we didn't have any left over. But the sad part about that was she didn't buy anything I really liked this time on purpose. So I'd stick with it. Stick with it. So I didn't care anyway. But it's not like having a whole bowl full of Reese cups, because I could eat on them until they were gone. Hey, Simon, go on. Are you stuck down here? You went out? Hey, what, folks? Be right back. Come on. You want to go out? Keep going. Come on. Tap, tap, tap. Go on, go out. I'm going to shut the door back. Oh. I'm not running you off enough if you want it out. guess everybody heard that. I wasn't really talking to the cat. It just sounded that way. I mean, nobody really talks to their cat, do they? Where are you going, Ted? I just shut the door back. Hey, come here. Come here. Whoa, what got you? Come here. Well, Carol, I was going to pick him up. He got down, but I guess he doesn't want to. Hi, Tina. Good morning. Good to see you. Dave wants to know how long he should leave. Dave's asking folks of how long he should leave his Halloween candy out. Or how long should he wait before he puts it up? So I gave my opinion. I guess that you. Yeah, I talked to my cats too, Tina. I was just kidding. I just wasn't sure. I wanted everybody to know that I might be a little crazy. Teddy and I have full conversations. It's kind of nice because he doesn't answer me. Well, usually he doesn't answer me back. Sometimes he does. My old cat and I, we have real conversations. He and I yell back and forth at each other. Valentine's Day. Well, that would work, Tina. I don't know if it would last till Valentine's Day. Depends on what it is. John, to make a real, informed decision, you might have to tell us what kind of candy you've got left. That would help me make up my mind. Oh, I talked to myself too, Jay. I just somebody told me one time it was okay for me to talk to myself. When I started answering back, I was in trouble. So I've always tried not to answer out loud. Oh, I answer myself. I just try to be quiet about it. That's true, Tina. All I know about that in my case, I'm not sure when my cats talk back, I'm not sure if they agree or not. Depends on what it's about. Teddy has his own language. Like when he's waiting to be fed, he'll stand at near Brenda's feet, and what he does is reach up and pull any dish towels down he can find that are hanging over the stove handle or or the cabinet, because that's his way of saying, "Hey, I'm down here. Don't forget me." And he'll do it 2 or 3 times. You can pick it up, put it back up, tell him no, and he just waits for your back to turn, and he does it again. I think he wonders how you know it's him, but he's the only one that does it. Hey, I've got something. Turn the camera off again so I don't show my behind. Hey, buddy. You want to come up and be on TV? Maybe I will, maybe I won't. No. What my pants go do? Here they are. I'm still working on my studio office / den, and I found some new pens. I don't know if you guys can see these or not. I may have to take them out of the plastic. I found this set from, I think, 2008 that I think Brenda bought me, probably for Christmas, but let's see if you guys can see them. They're all trains, and there's Mickey on a train, and Goofy on the train. Oh, come on, focus. And there's Donald on the train, and then Pluto on the train down at the bottom. And I'm sure some of you now know I like trains. And especially the Disney World trains, I just think they're special. And I can't wait till it starts running again, because I can't imagine going down there and not getting to ride the train. So I may not go back till it's fixed. I don't know. But it was a nice find, because I forgot I had these, and they were stored in a different box with some other Disney stuff. And I reached in and popped them out. I don't know if they're not limited editions, I don't think. But I sure like them. I like the trains. I'm sure I've said it before, but Brenda and I did the behind the scenes train tour years back, and really enjoyed that trip. That was a lot of fun. Got to go backstage, go to the train roundhouse where they turn the trains around, do maintenance on them, including the monorails, in a different section, of course. Dean! Oh, you're getting all involved in stuff, huh? What kind of stuff are you getting involved in, sir? I don't think Mike. Actually, you didn't see Mike Wheeler or whoever else. Jay, you guys were in chat. Did you? Or in Carlos's live stream? Did anybody see Mike Wheeler? I think he's supposed to be there today. And before I forget, I got some really special pins this week. I was holding these for a reason, but Brenda says I should go ahead and show them. But my wife bought me some 50th anniversary pins via email or internet. And this was the first one. I really like this image, because I think this is my favorite period of Disney Mickey Mouse logos. Come on, Mickey, focus. I think my camera's just not going to focus this morning. It may be early for Mike. Can you guys see that at all, or tell what it is? That's the outside, and then it opens. It's a book, and on the inside it has Cinderella's castle. And if I took it off the card, you can see it says 50th anniversary on the back. The card actually says that too. John, I did too. I got that last night. Or no, it was this morning earlier. I got a James Ryan impersonator on my Instagram also. Didn't take me but a minute to figure out it wasn't him. But yeah, I do too, Corky. I think all three of these are hens. This one looks like the lunchbox, which I believe. Oh, come on, focus in there somehow. Oh, I need to get a better camera. Whoop. I don't know if I can hold it still. I can't not shake a little bit. I don't think it's going to focus. This looks like to me, this one kind of looks like the lunchbox that D23 gave this year. And inside the lunchbox, there's snacks. Mickey ice cream bar, some popcorn, some churros, a Mickey waffle, and a pretzel. So I thought that one was cool. They're magnetically closed. Seems like years ago I had some that had like a little latch that didn't always hold. And there's one more. I think this one's the only one that wasn't an open hinged one. But again, I like this because I can remember when this was one of the main logos at Disney World. And it says Walt Disney World. And guys, I apologize for the lack of focus. Usually does better than that. Maybe the lights aren't bright enough. I probably got them way too bright. It didn't help any, did it? Well, hopefully you get the idea. And I have my dearly beloved to thank for those because she got them for me. Hey, bud, you want to get up here and say hi to everybody? Come here. What's the matter with you? Why are you so shy these days, huh? You don't like showing your face? You feel. Oh, back to this chair. He wants me to pat him and pay attention to him, but he don't want to be on this morning. I guess not. Carol, I hope you saw him. Carol, let's hope you didn't. Trying to sell DDHS. I didn't get that much information. James pretty much always addresses me the same way. So when that person sent a note back and said, "Hi, how are you today?" I knew it wasn't him. So I cut him off right there. But he had a picture of James using for his icon or his whatever logo, whatever you call it, in Instagram. Which, I mean, they're getting pretty sophisticated and pretty sneaky. I went back and looked at the picture too. I mean, I guess you look at it close, you can kind of tell it's a fake, but not at first glance. I mean, it just looks like James Ryan. I have to tell him he's been spammed. It's unbelievable how good those guys are these days at doing that. And I'm quite sure, John, Carol, if you got it too, I'm quite sure somebody out there fell for it and probably, gave them more than they probably should have. I hope not. Well, Carol, is the Blue having a football game today, or are they taking the weekend off to lick their wounds, so to speak? I don't know. That was cruel, wasn't it? I shouldn't have said that. I apologize. These things happen. That was a heck of a game. I mean, that literally came right down to the last couple minutes. Put these pens up before I lose one of them or start complaining because they're on my desk and I forgot to clean them off. Because I'd be the only one that get blamed for that. I couldn't blame anybody else. Anybody gone to see movies lately? I'm not. Brenda will tell you, and she drives her nuts, but I'm not a big movie person. Oh, how'd that go, Carol? I forgot about that. I bet they didn't give you a hard time, did they? They would have. Any place I've ever worked, they would have. Sorry about that. I should have turned my phone down this morning. Uh-oh, what's pain? Oh, pain. I bet it was painful. It's hard. I knew. I actually felt sorry for you. I mean, that would be hard for me to swallow. But I'm used to it though now. I mean, Tennessee's had such rough years lately that I'm kind of used to them getting beat. Although they do look better this year. They've not won. I think they're 500, but they at least have played better. I've got hopes for next year. They just need to win. They need to win 2 games, but I would take one of 2. They need to beat Florida, and they need to beat Alabama bad. And I would take. Honestly, I believe I hate Florida more than I do Alabama. So just a figure of speech there, folks. I don't hate Florida, but I don't like their football team. That dates back to when Mr. Spurrier was down there. Did not like Mr. Spurrier much. Didn't have a whole lot of use for him. Little known fact about Mr. Spurrier, he was from my hometown, and I grew up in Tennessee. I think they're playing Kentucky today, Carol, so I think they beat Kentucky like 20-something years in a row, and then Kentucky's been whipping them bad lately. I guess that's the beating you get for the beating you gave. All right, babe, goodbye. I guess I'll talk to you later. God, my nose is itching. Thanks for coming by. I still don't know how. All this works. I still can't find her. I was going to post her Etsy page again. Oh, maybe this is it. Here it is. Let's see if this works. There it is. That's Brenda's Etsy shop. Anybody takes the notion to swing by and look at an apron, I'm sure she would appreciate it. I know she just finished one Christmas apron. She's working on another one. Brenda, you need, if you're still on here, you need to take some pictures of that denim one you're working on, because I think it's especially nice. Okay, Ashley, thanks. That's okay, Tina. She was telling me I had asked her if she knew when Jeff was coming on, so I probably won't be on when he starts, but I'll probably go over there when I'm getting finished. Yes, you did, Tina. She told me that. I appreciate that. I know she appreciated it. I hope it works out well for you. Anybody else got any big plans for today? I think that, although man, it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. It was chilly here this morning. I think we were down around freezing finally. When you say the Tracy family, Tina, do you mean the Tracy family of New York? Actually, the Kinsey Days family? Might be more accurate. Or is there another actual Tracy family that I haven't met yet? Oh, good, Tina. I'm glad to hear that. She does good work. She used to make a lot of stuff for me, and in the historical clothing department, and she made a lot of shirts, like 1800s period style patterns of shirts and things, men's shirts and women's dresses, and I sold them when I would go to Rendezvous, and there'd be other people there, and I'd have shirts laid out there, and I sold. A lot of people liked her shirts the way they were made. I ought to get some. I got some stuff in that my closet there. It's got some of her handiwork in it. I ought to get out and show sometime. I mean, I think she does really good work. She thinks she's, of course, is hard on herself and could always do better. She thinks, but I'm impressed. I've been impressed since we got married. I mean, I just always thought she was good. Sometimes she thought I thought she was too good, and therefore, I shouldn't be coming up with these ideas. She even made me a sleeping bag, a down sleeping bag. Maybe not down, might have been polyester filled, but a backpacking sleeping bag and a tent one time. And the tent, I camped in that tent several times, and it went through some hellacious storms, and it held up great. I mean, her work, her stitching, everything held up perfect. I was really pleased and impressed. She did a really good job. I don't know if you guys remember them or not, but they used to be called Frostline. I don't know if somebody still got that name out there or not, but they made sewing kits for just about, or kits, patterns and kits of materials for just about every kind of outdoor gear you could think of. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that, Tina. Maybe he did then. There are certainly a large crowd down there. I mean, of YouTubers, that's for sure. This community's, I'd have to say, is well represented in Disney World this weekend. I don't know. Is there something special about this weekend, or did it just all start because of the Disney Run weekend, the first one? I know several people are down there for that. I think the Lynn Project is up there running. I know Magic Meg is, or Mickey's Magic Meg. I know she's down there to run. Sam's probably running. I don't know who else. Well, Jeff and Ann's were going to run this morning, I think. It's either this morning or tomorrow morning, because I saw them post something about they picked up their bibs. Tina, if she's not here, I'll make sure she hears that, because that's good. She, like I said, she discredits herself too often. Oh, very funny, Carol. Well, if she does it, and then I find my clothes sitting outside in a grocery bag on the front porch, then I know that it's time to I'm out of the house. Okay, it's tomorrow morning. I'd almost like to watch that. I'd like to see how they do. I heard Ange say something to Jeff about he better be, if she has to walk, he better be walking with her. So I think he was being threatened with his life to stay with her, not run off and leave her. I couldn't do it. I mean, I wish I could, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't even walk it today. 5 miles, 3 miles, 10 kilometers, whatever they are, I'm afraid I couldn't do it. Disney running 200,000 people from Jersey. Is this fall break for people out of New Jersey, John, or is there something else, another reason they're all down there this week? Disney Run brings out a lot of people. I was surprised and impressed by the numbers of people. Or I guess I really can't imagine running in those kinds of crowds, but people who do it, I guess, find it okay. I grew up with a guy, a good friend of mine, that I found out later in life. He started running marathons. He's run Boston a time or two, and I don't know if he's run New York or not. He's run some marathons out like in Oregon, several others big ones, Chicago. I never knew he ran either. Oh, so this week probably wasn't the best week to go then. It is going to be crowded. If they got to be back the 8th, that's Monday. So, well, actually, maybe a lot of them are going home this weekend. I know I watched somebody stream one day recently, and it looked pretty crowded to me. And, of course, yesterday I saw a stream by somebody else. Somebody that had a yonker with them. I'm trying to think who it was. Well, I know I saw something on Lynn's Instagram page. Yeah, I guess it was yesterday, and it was pouring rain. I do mean pouring rain. So hopefully it clears up today, or cleared up today. It was a typical Florida thunderstorm from what I could see. Good morning, Mike. How are you this morning? Or Val? Or both? Are you guys runners? I can't remember if I heard you were running in the Disney runs this weekend or not. Oh, that's right. Team Marie's down there too. You've seen Russ, but no Mikey Wheeler. Okay. Well, we know one thing for sure. He won't be driving himself down, I don't think. With Mike, although I wouldn't be surprised. He can do about anything he wants to, I think. I meant to check yesterday, or whenever they came down, Tina Marie, she said something about doing some live videos on the road trip down. I'd like to watch some of that just to see how it was going in the car. Carlos may have too. I'm not sure about that. You guys can probably. This week's I've been really out of it this week because of my mouth teeth situation. So that was on Tuesday. I couldn't tell you anything that happened Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday weren't a whole lot better. Yesterday wasn't too bad. Yeah, I would think 66 degrees would feel good down there, Mike. John, I think that'd be an excellent idea too. You might do that and see who could run the most laps doing that until they just fall down. Mike, I don't think I've got anything really new to show you lately. I haven't had any new. I don't think I have. I think I showed you my Irish and my Welsh. My Welsh whiskey. I don't know about. I think I showed you my Lagavulin. That's something Brenda bought me. Could be dangerous, Tina. You're right, but it could be funny too. You have to admit. Oh, that sounds like fun, Mike. Are those that local brewery just something I wouldn't have seen up here? I don't know who. I mean, everybody's got so many. There are so many more local breweries now that it's probably not something we get up here. They may not ship out that far. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's probably better too, because in a way, because you guys get good fresh micro brewed beer, and he doesn't have to try to ship it all over the country, which I think in a lot of cases doesn't help the um, quality. I mean, there's several breweries here in Knoxville now, and a couple of distilleries, I believe, small ones. And that's not counting the ones up in the holler on the mountainside. There's at least 3 legal distilleries here around here making moonshine now, or legal shine, if you want to call it that. Corn liquor, as we used to call it growing up. And they still put it in mason jars, although they're not probably not even mom ever canned in. Oh, I was going to say something about movies earlier. I was wondering if anybody had been to a movie lately. Brenda's gone now, so she can't fuss about it, but she likes to go to movies. I don't. I'm not sure why I don't. I do. I always enjoy them when I go. Excuse me, but I never want to go. I just never feel the urge to. I mean, I've missed so many movies that I wish I had gone to see after they were gone. I don't know why I do that. Because then once they're on TV, I don't watch them much. Oh no, John. So they just took the cash. They were smart enough to know the credit cards wouldn't get them anything these days. They would be questioned or canceled. I've had that happen. Um, I had some of my business cards that I used to use uh, to buy gas with and things when I worked. Oh, actually, we didn't buy gas with the card. One card we had was a purchasing card, I guess, and we could pay for a hotel with it. We had a separate gas card. Somebody stole the numbers off that one time and tried to use it, and they caught it immediately. But I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know how much money that they took, but well, any's too much. Did they just break the? I mean, was this because they had to leave their locker after the incident, or did it happen before that? Or I hate to say this, but something like that could give people good reason or good access to go back and steal, rob everybody blind if they knew there was going to be a big commotion carried on. I'm cynical. Golly, surely that's not what happened, but you never can tell. Oh, Mike, when next summer? Well, you must tell me about it. Well, I know you guys are getting married sometime soon, or relatively soon. So if it's that kind of a trip, then I wouldn't want to interrupt. But man, I'd love to say hi to you guys if you get to Tennessee next year. Yeah, my wife went into one of the moonshine places last week. She was up there with a girlfriend, and they spent a couple of days in Pigeon Forge area and Gatlinburg, and they went to a couple of places, and I don't know if they got her drunk or not, but she brought me back. I think she brought me back 3 jugs of moonshine. So that was kind of nice of her. Oh man, I hate to hear that, John. I'm glad it wasn't him. I wish it wasn't anybody. Man. I think I've been once, John, or yeah, Mike. I mean, before since last year. I can't remember what we went to see, but we went yesterday and saw Dune, and took my buddy Phil, who's my resident Dune expert, and he said they changed quite a few things. I don't know any better because I've never read the books. He brought me the first book to read, and I didn't get to it before we went to the movie. I wanted to go see James Bond, and I still would like to go see it before it gets out of the theaters. Oh, that'd be great, Mike. I really look forward to that. Let's stay in, between now and then, let's stay in touch and make that happen. I would love to meet you guys. Yeah, that you're right there, Carol. That's he won't forget that trip. Seeing anybody get CPR is rough. I've been there a couple of times, and it's not. Yeah, there was a guy. I was taking a test one time when I guess I was still undergraduate, and we had when they set up the test schedules, exam schedules. Sometimes they put them on Saturdays. Saturday morning, you may have a test in one class or something in the final exam, and we had a final exam on Saturday, and I'm pretty sure it was Saturday. Anyway, he had us all spread out in the auditorium, the lecture hall. Wasn't that many of us? It wasn't a huge crowded lecture hall, but anyway, he had us spread out. But there was a guy sitting behind me a seat or two, and I got finished with my test and was going over it again, or about to take it up front, hand it in, and I heard something behind me. It didn't sound right, and I turned around and saw this guy choking. Sitting a couple of seats back, and I jumped up and turned around and got him out in the aisle. He was turning blue by that point, and all slumped over and everything. And I got him out to get him laid down. I was trying to get him stretched out and get his feet above his head so he could keep trying to keep him going into shock, and then clear his throat to see if he was choking on his tongue or whatever. And a couple of other guys jumped in with me and helped start CPR. And when they started CPR, I went out and called 911. And I think this was when everybody didn't have a cell phone, but like it is today. But I guess some did. And I don't know if they called or if my call went through, but I did get through. And here in a few minutes, the ambulance came, and they carried him down to we were in a auditorium, down this way, but it had landings between rows of seats that were a little wider. So that's where we had him laid out. And they moved him down on the front where the whole floor was flat. And later on, he made it. He lived. He had some kind of a really strange attack that caused him to have a. I'm not sure what they said. I don't know if it's a neurological thing that happened. Got his heart out of whack and got his head. I mean, he just was out. I mean, it wasn't a stroke, but it was almost like a stroke. But I thought he had a heart attack or something. And but he came through, and the attendants and whatnot that got there said if he hadn't gotten CPR, he wouldn't have made it. So that I was glad there was other people besides me that knew how to do CPR. Nah, I didn't. Those guys did most of the CPR. I got him out of the chair and got his feet up and got him stretched out so we could get to him and figure out what was going on. They did most of the CPR. So, although he did come up to me later, and it was kind of funny because it turns out he was either related to me or his family had known my dad. I can't remember now exactly. It's been so long ago now, I can't remember exactly how that went. But he knew who I was. And he came up to me later at some event we went to and thanked me for, what I did. But, I got him out of the seat. I just did what I thought should do. And trying to get him some help. It was scary. I honestly didn't think he was going to make it. And I came up on a guy one time that I believe had drug overdosed, and at a festival in Jonesboro. Brenda probably don't remember this. I don't know if she was there or not. She's gone anyway now. But he worked there. He was working a booth or something there. They had arts and crafts, and I think there was a little carny out back. He might have been with that. And it's kind of bad because when it happened, I saw a police officer or somebody that was there working security that I knew, and he called in, help, and everybody was afraid to give him CPR at the time because that AIDS was, really prevalent in the news a lot then, and people didn't know what they should or should not do, and I was kind of distressed about the fact that the officers and stuff that got there were sort of keeping people away from him. Honestly, I thought he was going to die before the medics got there. And but as far as I know, he pulled through too. That was two's enough for me. If I never saw anybody else in that condition, I'd probably be fine. I've had CPR and stuff a lot. We had to take it every year at work and first aid classes and stuff. And I've done some stuff like that. I've seen cuts and things have to be tended to. That doesn't bother me, but both of those guys were near death. Yeah, it was. I mean, in one hand, you're standing there feeling totally helpless because here's somebody. In one case, a young man. He was only like not 18 or 19. Well, 19 or 20 probably at the most. I think he wasn't a freshman. It wasn't a freshman level class, so I'm not sure what class he was in at the time. But I'm almost 40. I was 40 by then, or right at it, and he's less than 20 years old probably, and he's laying there dying at my feet, and right behind me, and it was strange. I mean, it was scary, strange. That's what I mean. To deal with it and to think about it, I mean, it's tough. And it was really tough with that other guy because that happened. Actually, that one happened before the other one. And seeing the people waiting for somebody to bring a face mask in so they could try to resuscitate this guy. And like I said, he turned out okay. And I can't remember if he OD'd. They thought he had OD'd, but then I heard maybe it was a diabetes thing. So maybe he didn't. But well, if I had a clear head, Carol, but I think training repetition kicks in. Even back then, I'd had a lot of first aid. I was in scouts for a long time, so I had a lot of first aid training there. And everywhere I've worked seems like they taught classes, especially later in life, because that became CPR and stuff became sort of a mandatory thing in a lot of places. Those places I've worked anyway. I know Brenda had to take it when she was working with the kids at UT, at the University Child Development Lab. They had to stay current in child resuscitation or CPR, and they gave that to us too. But mostly they trained us with adults. I mean, that's where we were working around. But safety was a big deal with us at TVA because we were always working on boats and that kind of equipment, sometimes heavy equipment, but not as much as some of the other groups within the agency were. I mean, we had a group that did nothing but work with heavy equipment, so they were really strict on safety. And then the people who did electrical work were, I guess I'd have to say, in more dangerous situations than I ever thought I was in. And we had a couple people die in that because of that over the years that I was there. Got a wrench across contacts. I don't know about John. I don't know if you guys had to worry about that or not, but even on airplanes, we used to have to worry about getting a wrench across contacts. You got a steel wrench in your hand and you tighten up a battery lug or something, and you don't realize or a fitting, and you don't realize you're by the battery hot post, and you ground the wrench, and it burns your hand, burns the wrench in two, and burns your hand off. Well, Carol, I hope you never do, but I'm glad you know how. So if you ever do, trust your training. You'll pull through. But at the same time, I wish nobody ever had to use it. It's a good thing to have, but it's not necessarily a fun thing to do. And I was going to say something else. Now I forgot what it was. Oh, well, I forgot. Yeah, Carol, I'm. Are you guys? Is it mandatory for you guys? I'm surprised it's not. I mean, since you work with the kids, and I kind of thought that maybe that's just here, but I kind of thought that'd be everywhere. To be honest. Uh-oh. I was grumpy. I was having the house opened up for the cool air. I just went into the bedroom to get her up and pull the covers off. Oh, Mike. I bet she did. And I would ask you what she said, but that's probably not something you can share with us right at the moment. Oh, wow, John. So people knew he was there. That's interesting. Mom, it's nice to have people that care. I'm really so glad he and his friends are okay. Does he live down? Now you said he was flying home, so he doesn't live down that way. You mean you having to need CPR, Tina? You're probably right. I'm more concerned right now about Mike. He may need CPR here in a minute. Uh, let's watch him, folks, because if he doesn't say anything else in the next few minutes on chat, we're going to call 911 down there and get somebody over to his house because Val may have murder rated him by then. I'll get used to forgetting stuff. Yeah, unfortunately, you're right about that. It's not even funny. I forget way too much these days. Things flow through my mind like a river, and if I don't catch them fast, they're out the other ear. Feels like. Oh, Mike, they're ganging up on you, buddy. Oh, and Tina's not going to help you either. John and I may be the only ones that are going to give you a hand. I don't know where John stands. I'll try to help you if I can. But, you kind of, oh, pardon the pun, made that bed. You may have to lie in it. Make sure she doesn't have any heavy or sharp objects nearby. That'll help. At least if she can't get a hold of them before you do. But then again, maybe you're smarter than that, and you took care of all that before you decided to yank the covers off of her. I know how you Florida people are. Right? She probably thinks that's 66. She probably thinks that's akin to freezing temperatures. Chris, good morning, sir. God, so good to see you in here. I hope you're feeling well today. Really good to see you. It's been too long, my friend. We were just hoping that Mike Passholder Pair doesn't get beat up or murdered because he yanked the covers off Val this morning, and it's cold down there. Wow, Carol, that's warmer. Oh, in your house. Well, in my house, it's probably warmer than that too, but it's colder than that outside here, that's for sure. It was in its 30s. Fair. I've been pretty good. I've got some other issues. My leg's coming as my back has healed. My leg is giving me more trouble, and I'm sitting here with some teeth out right now because I had to have some teeth pulled this week to get some teeth fixed. So I started out the morning with a mask on, and I decided to heck with it, I'd take it off, but I'm embarrassedly toothless. At least I am in the front. That's where exposed. But if it was just the back, I wouldn't worry about it. You couldn't see it, but trust me, if I open my mouth, you could see these. Squirrels. They're taking over. We've got some corn out to try to distract the squirrels and try to get them to eat the corn and leave the bird seed alone. Oh, I hate to hear that, Chris. But I can't keep them out of the bird feeders too. I think the bird feeders are easier to eat or get. They don't have to work as hard. So they prefer to eat that first. And then when that's all gone, then they'll go gnaw on the corn cobs. Well, Mike, he said hi to Chris, so I guess he's still alive. Oh, you did. A buddy of mine lives a few miles outside of town from where we do, and we live kind of on the edge of Knox County, but it's still more populated than where he is. And he said it was down around 30 yesterday on his home thermometer. So we're getting some cold air too, but I don't know if it frosted here because we're covered up with trees. So it, just some frost doesn't really get to the ground here. And the windshield might have frosted up outside, but of course I didn't go out to check it. Because one, I didn't have any reason to, and two, I'd have to walk out there. Well, everybody remember you got to turn, if your clocks aren't automatic, most of ours are now, but if you're not, turn back the clocks tonight. Well, that's cold. That's getting there. I don't think we've been, I'm sure in the mountains they probably have been in the upper 20s, at least upper 20s. I think we've been in the 30s, like I said, and Phil was in the low 30s or near 30. And but I don't know if it's supposed to warm up a little bit more this weekend over the next couple of days. And I'll say that, I mean, maybe up to the 60s in the afternoons. I'm not sure what it's supposed to max out at. Let me look. Well, my phone says it's 46 right now. And it's supposed to get to be 59 today, so that's the high. Looks like tomorrow's about the same. And that's the Tennessee forecast. Sorry, guys, I was looking through weather and then I saw something about teeth, and I was going to see how much I paid or overpaid. Of course, they're not actually going to tell me, are they? I hate those things. But I got these shiny implants that are sticking up. Oh, there's one. You probably can't see it, but it's sticking up out of my tooth, and the doctor said she'd retorque it when I came back in to check it, and I thought that was funny. I asked her to see her torque wrench. She said it was a teeny tiny little torque wrench. Yeah, time change. Well, I don't know. Do you guys change time, Chris, up there? At one time, Indiana confused the heck out of me. I could go up there and it'd be a different time. I'd go across the time zone line and it would change, and then it seemed like it would change back. And hey, Val, good morning. Don't kill Mike. Or at least wait till he hangs up, because we don't want to be witnesses. But I'm not saying you shouldn't. I mean, he probably deserves it. Most of the ladies in here think he deserves it. So I can't protect him. But maybe not while maybe not while you have witnesses. All I got to say is she better enjoy the beer fest or whatever it's called today, Mike, because if it turns out to be a dud and she don't enjoy it, you're going to really be in trouble for getting her up and yanking those covers off. That's true, Carol. It would. Oh, that's right. You're in Illinois. I was thinking you were near Indianapolis, Chris. I'm sorry. I was getting you mixed up with the other guys. Um, Indiana is a messed up place. Illinois is, I don't know. You know that one. I just know Indiana used to confuse the heck out of me. Talked to somebody that lived up there one time. This was in the late 70s, maybe early 80s. And they said it was confusing to them too. They lived in a town that was split down the middle by a county line, and each side of that county did something different. So they would leave home at one time and cross the county line and be in a different time. And it was really confusing. Okay, I'll let it get quiet here. I got to stop that. I was thinking to myself, next week I'll be on. Week after next, we're hoping to go. I say hoping, we're planning to go to Ohio and spend a couple of days with some friends we haven't seen in a long time. Actually, my buddy Mark that was on here a couple of weeks ago with me, he's flying back east to visit his parents, and we haven't seen him, his new wife, or his parents in many years. So I made the offer to come up and meet them at the airport in Cincinnati and drive over to where his mom and dad lives. His wife's born and raised in Wyoming, so she's a natural born Western person. Westerner. Probably has no desire to move back east, would be my guess. Where in Ohio? Southern, not too far north of the Ohio River, actually. Jackson, Ohio. If you know your way around southeastern or southern Ohio. It's not too far from Cincinnati. I'm not sure exactly. Hey, buddy. I'm not sure exactly how many miles it is. You want to come in, Chris? Yeah, come on. Let me send you a link. If I can remember how. Is this link? Give me a minute. It takes me a minute to remember how to do these things. See if you got that. Oh, no. Well, we're going to miss you, Carol, because we're going to be come and gone by then. They're flying into Cincinnati, Covington, actually Kentucky. Well, it's still, I guess, still part of Cincinnati. And they're flying in there, and then we're driving over to his parents. And I guess for them, it's kind of going to be an early Thanksgiving dinner because they won't be back. They may not be back the rest of the year, actually. And it's kind of a big deal for them to fly home. And I think it's a 31-hour drive, he told me, if he drives home. Well, I hope you do too, Carol, because we definitely want to meet with you guys or do something. Who knows? Maybe you'll be here at the same time that Val and Mike are here. But I hope if you get down here, hope you let us know. Hey, we got a guest here. Good morning, sir.
Hey, buddy.
How are you doing?
Hanging in there. How are you?
Hanging in there. Like I said, I've had some issues. I've had leg problems. I got a bunch of torn muscles and ligaments in my leg that are giving me a fit. But other than that, and my teeth, trying to get my teeth fixed. If it wasn't for that, I'd be doing okay.
Yeah, that's not good.
Nah, but it's working itself out. I don't know I'm not sure what the leg's going to do, but I'm working on it. If I can get it, maybe if I can get it strengthened, I can work through it. But apparently, there's not much I can do with torn muscles, so
Right.
just going to have to let them heal as best they're going to heal. And so I'm getting a little bit of therapy for that. But I had to skip therapy this week because of this dental work I'm getting done. That was a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Spent about 3 hours in the
Back doing okay?
dental chair Tuesday morning. I think it was Tuesday. Of course, I guess that's better than spending that much time in a barbershop chair with the guy trying to pull him. Yes, Carol, please do. I would like to know. If I ever get up your way, and someday I will, I'll have to give you a call or let you guys know.
How's your back doing?
My back?
Yeah.
Pretty good. It's well, my back, I guess, is doing okay. The nerves, which is still in the back, I guess, is still where it's causing. But I'm still having issues with my legs with that, but it's not as bad as it was. My left leg has always been the worst, and it's still worse than the right. It's still super sensitive as far as nerves go, touching and feeling and stuff. I feel stuff now, but it's real intense. Cat comes up and touches that leg. Sometimes it makes me want to jump through the roof.
Sounds like neuropathy.
Well, it does, but I mean, it all started with my back problem. I didn't have any of these issues before that happened, and it's not. Like I said, it's not as bad as it was. I mean, it's probably the same thing. It just might be caused by something different. Well, I don't know. I'm just talking out of my head here, but neuropathy. I think of neuropathy being caused by diabetes, but in this case, it's something else that caused it. So. But I think it's probably about the same thing. Hey, Cherie, I didn't see you come in. Good morning, ma'am. Glad to see you this morning. Are you on your lunch break? Chris is with us today. Or just popped in. I missed something a couple weeks ago, Chris. I wanted to go to, or thought about it, had it on my calendar and thought I might go. And hey, buddy. Pick you up. He might be a little bit more compliable now, Carol. Until he acted like he wanted me to pick him up. The Staggerwing Beach Club, or whatever they call themselves, they have an annual thing, and I'm not sure why they do it here, but it's in Tennessee. They do it in near Tullahoma, Tennessee, and which is near the Arnold Research Center, where they've got what do you call it? Wind tunnel. It's a research center, Arnold Research and something down there. It's military, I reckon, or NASA or somebody. But anyway, that's in Tennessee, down towards Chattanooga. And they were having a homecoming. I think it's what they call it, or something similar to that. Stagger wings fly in from all over. And I've been once to it. It's really cool.
I think that's where, I'm trying to remember if that's where Beechcraft started.
Well, it could be. I used to know why, and I've forgotten, and I haven't looked it up, but I know they come down there.
Yeah, they have quite
other things besides Staggerwings, other beaches besides Staggerwings, but it's primarily billed as a Staggerwing get together.
Yeah, yeah.
I just always loved Staggerwings. I've always thought they were really pretty airplanes.
I do too. It's sort of the kind of like the Cadillac,
Yeah,
the Cadillac of the sky, sort of. It's like a luxurious aircraft. It's one of my favorite antique aircraft.
yeah. I mean, in its day, it was about as classy as you could get for a business aircraft back then. It was, I mean, it only held 4 or 6 people. I think it's just four, may just be four, but it flew at almost 200 miles an hour, or about 200. And back then, that was a
Yep.
big deal. That was fast for a private or corporate plane. And
Retractable landing gear.
tractable gear,
Yep.
yeah. And I don't know if they ever had any kind of de-icing on them or not, but they may not have been completely all weather, but they were pretty nicely equipped otherwise.
Oh yes.
But they're neat airplanes. I mean, they're just gorgeous in the air. I don't know, they just look good. Sheree, are you
The
on dinner break? Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think the British, I think the RAF used them during World War II, also.
They did. Actually, you're right. They used them for to fly generals around and carry dispatches, I think,
Yep.
from time to time into different places. I mean, they weren't as fast as the fighters, but they were faster than a lot of stuff. So, they worked out kind of well. Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't actually know they did that until recently. I was reading up on them some when I was looking up when they were doing their event, and I saw that somewhere and was reading about that. I don't know if our military had some, and then their military, they got some from us. And uh, I don't know if I've still got a picture of one. I had a picture of one that I could put on the screen, I think, in case anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about and wants to know. Of course, they may not want to know, but what did I do with it? Nope. Nope. Oh, come on. Here. What? Oh, well, maybe I don't have it. I did have one. I had one when we talked about them months ago, but I seem to have misplaced it now. Oh, well, I've lost it. So anyway, they're neat airplanes.
They are. They
Oh,
really
you're
are.
going to Buc-ee's. Are you going on down to Disney or just Buc-ee's? You need to go by and say hi to John's dad. He lives in St. Augustine, Sheree. Somewhere down there. You guys have fun, Mike. Val, don't beat him up too bad. Oh, thank you, Mike, for coming in. Val, too. I'm probably going to wind down here just a little bit. My mouth's a little sore. I'm getting, my tongue's wagging probably too much. It's flapping around beating parts. Oh, okay. Oh, John, he's 5 minutes from Buc-ee's. Oh, wow. Hey, Kay, good morning. I hadn't seen you. Did you just come in or have I missed you? Oh, good for you, Cherie. That sounds like fun. You'll have to tell us about it when you're done, when you come back, those of us who couldn't attend or can't be there. This is one of those times I think I would like to be down there because it may be crowded. John said there was a lot of, hey, Dave. Well, Dave's been here, though, I think. Oh, John said there's New Jersey's out of school this week, so he figured they're all down there this week, which would make it pretty crowded. But There certainly are a lot of YouTubers down there this weekend. Okay, well, welcome. Glad you made it in before. I'm not going to stay on too long today, but I'll probably be on another 20 minutes. Well, Dave, if that happens, I tell my wife, you know what prevents that? Well, at least it usually does. And that's if you get up. She kind of gives me that excuse. She says, well, I just fell back to sleep. And I said, you know what stops that? You know, you get up and start moving around. She doesn't like that answer, but. Yeah, Sheree, or Carol, I'd say you're right about that. There's a bunch of these folks that haven't seen each other in a long time. And of course, nobody's seen Pete since, August of 19? I believe it's when he was, 19. I believe that's when he was down there before he got sick. And then there's a lot of these guys haven't been back there since then.
A lot of people going to Disney this weekend.
Yeah, apparently there's a Run Disney weekend event. I know there's several people going to run this weekend. Megan, Mickey's Magic Meg, she's running. I'm pretty sure Lynn Project's going to be there to run, or she's running. I don't know if she's going to be staying or not. I assume she is since she's running. You got to get up so early. I don't think you'd want to be driving back and forth since she lives a couple hours away or more. I know Sam's probably running. She usually runs them. Jeff and Ange said they were going to run one of the races, the short one, I think tomorrow. Or it's not a full marathon weekend. I think they're running like 5, 10s, and
okay,
5s and 10s. Maybe that's all they're running. I don't know if they're running a half marathon or not. 10 seems like 10 kilometers. Maybe 10 kilometers. Maybe that is a half marathon 10. I can't remember. I know it's about 13 miles. So whichever one, I guess that's a 10 kilometer. I'm getting my kilometers and miles mixed up, which is which nobody else is going to care. But I've noticed something I noticed in that movie yesterday. They were confusing numbers. They are confusing measurement systems. They went to see Dune, and I don't know if you ever saw Dune, but it's about these giant sandworms that I don't know what they eat, but they excrete or somehow deposit this spice in the sand. That's what the whole world's based around at that time. And the guy announcing was describing, he's kind of like giving a narrative of how the story began. And he says these giant worms can grow up to 400 meters long. So there he gives a metric reference. And then the next thing he's doing, he's talking about something. He said, that's almost 10 feet tall. And I'm thinking, don't mix them up. You confuse people enough as it is. You start talking meters and feet at the same time, you're going to have everybody confused. I don't know if anybody else in the room caught that or not, but I thought, wow, that's dumb. Somebody should have picked that up in the editing.
Right.
But
hey, Kay. It's good to see you too.
Michigander. I don't know if I knew Dave was from Michigan, so that would see, this is a good example. Carol is a Michigoose, and Dave would be a Michigander because he's the male. I don't know if I realized he was from up there. Did you see the new one, Cherie? We went to see it yesterday, and I don't know. It's a good movie, but it ended. There definitely needs to be a part 2. They left a lot of things hanging. And a lot of things happened kind of quickly. And if I hadn't had my buddy Phil along, I wouldn't have known some of the things. Just like the original Dune, he went along with me and gave me a kind of a blow by blow, so I know, because he's read all the books probably a couple of times. In fact, he just finished them again because he wanted to be caught up before this movie came out. And then you sat there in the movie yesterday and he said, oh, this is wrong. Oh, that's wrong. I got that in the wrong section. So, it was, as usual, it was changed. But the movie, the effects and stuff were good and I enjoyed it, but it still left a bit. I don't think it's getting that great of reviews from people for that reason. But, the next movie I think has a chance. if they follow it up with number 2, then it should be pretty good. And it came out as part 1, so they're wanting to do a part 2.
Is Dune a Warner Brothers movie?
I believe it is. I believe that's what I saw yesterday. We saw it at an AMC theater. Not that necessarily matters, but
I'll have to take a look. I have HBO Max, and I know that they're releasing all the Warner Brothers movies.
I think it's on there. I
this
believe
year,
they
anyway.
announced that. I think I heard that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could check it out. I mean, like I said, it's not a bad movie. I think some people are not going to like it if they don't know the story.
Right.
But if you do, then you're probably going to like parts of it and think, well, they got that wrong. But I mean, that's so typical with movies these days. They have to change stuff around because if you don't, some of these, I mean, it's kind of like Lord of the Rings, to be honest. They had a lot of material to work with, and even getting it in 3 movies, they probably did good.
Have you heard
I'm
about
missing
this
all the chat
Squid
here.
Game?
No, there was a part 2. Well,
Have you heard about this?
Supposed to be coming, Cherie. It's not out yet. Do what, Chris?
Have you heard about this Squid Game series?
Oh, yes. I haven't watched it. My wife has. She's watched it after we heard about it on the news or something, and she started watching it. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I haven't had the chance to watch it yet.
I don't know if I would enjoy it or not, but apparently everybody that watches it really likes it. I'm not sure, exactly why, but apparently there's something about it that catches people's attention. Okay, there should be several. I mean, there's a whole series of books about the Dune. I shouldn't even say about the Dune movies. There are several Dune books. I mean, I don't know how many in the whole series. So they could very well it's probably more than there were Star Wars originally. So I'm sure they can do that many if they do them right. But if they, Dune's one of those things. It's kind of almost cultish. I can remember when a lot of my friends that read science fiction stuff, they all had read Dune, and I didn't realize science fiction, so I hadn't. And when you get people that are that
have a good weekend, Sheree.
Bought into it, then they may not like the movies. Hey, Teddy. You decided to come up and say hello? What's the deal? Huh? You want to come up now and say hi to Carol? Look, say hi, Carol. Bye, Cherie.
It's good to see you too.
Yeah, you have a great weekend. Tell everybody we said hi tonight. You want to come up here? Let me hold you. No holding. He just want to say hi. He's laid back. Actually, well, he's probably wanting. Oh, that's good, Cherie. I look forward to that. He's probably just wanting me to scratch his head. That's, one of his favorite things. Cherie said bye, Teddy. She said bye. Carol said hi. And sent you a heart. She's the head of your fan club, You better pay attention. Oh my God, I got 3 squirrels out here, one on each feeder. I told them they're really lucky I'm not hunting squirrels these days, or I wouldn't have any squirrels left on my feeders. I'd be done with them.
There is a pretty funny video out there of a squirrel trying to get into a feeder, and it's one of those automatic ones that spin around.
Yeah.
and this squirrel is just holding onto this feeder, spinning around, and
I like that. I need to see
so
that.
Funny to watch.
That's what I'd like to have, one that shucks the squirrels. There was a show out years ago, and I don't remember what program it was that first showed it. And I'm sure there's video out there, but where this guy had built a a maze across his backyard, and the squirrels had to figure it out before they could get to the feed.
Oh, yes.
They had to go through doors and up ladders and down ropes and all kinds of stuff.
Through different tubes and everything.
And usually within a couple of days, they had it figured out. They were getting the food, and he'd change it in a couple of days. They'd figure it out. They're if they're not smart, they're dedicated or determined.
Yep.
And right now, I've got at least 2 or 3 really fat ones.
Yeah, my squirrels are starting to get pretty fat up here too. They're putting on all that weight for winter.
Yeah, they're getting ready. It's well, I get birds too, but they can empty out a feeder so quick that it's I've got some they can't get into as well, so they're not getting in those much. But the birds drag out some feed, and they'll get up and get that if there's anything they like.
Right.
I had one out here that I didn't think they could get into, and Brenda pointed out to me a while ago that it's empty. And I thought it was just full yesterday, so they really got into that one. We have a chipmunk that jumps up and climbs.
Oh, wow.
A flying chipmunk. He runs across the back wall, takes a leap of faith, and lands on the feeder. And he gets up there and fills his jaws up full of food. If you've ever seen a chipmunk, they fill up. And then he'll jump down and go running off somewhere and I guess deposit his food in his den, and he'll come back. So he may have helped unload that one because he can get in. It's got a cage around it that's far enough away that the squirrels can't really reach it. They can't get their heads in it because the screen's too fine. They can get their arm through it or their leg through with their front paws, which are like hands. But they can't really reach the seeds in a tube inside. The birds can go inside it, and the chipmunk can get inside it, but the squirrels can't reach it. It's just out of arm's reach. But somehow they've emptied it, so they must be shaking it out or something. I guarantee you they figure out a way. I've been shooting them with a super soaker, a squirt gun.
Mm-hmm.
And usually when I'm doing that, they stay off the feeders, but I'm trying to get them to go over and eat off I've got ears of corn out. We're trying to get them to go to the corn, leave the feeders alone, but I think the feeders are easier.
Right. Well, and that's, I just ordered a 40-pound bag of the black oil sunflower seeds.
Seed, yeah.
Yeah. And that usually keeps them away from the feeders. Plus it really fattens them up for the winter. So.
And catch up with chat. Yes, they are, Carol. They are tenacious. They are dedicated to getting that food. I've never seen anything like them. Squirrels are hilarious. Yeah, they do eat pumpkins usually, Carol. That probably is why. If they've got plenty of other stuff, they might because Brenda puts them out sometimes here, bust them up, and the squirrels usually eat them pretty quick, actually. Okay, see you, John. Say hi to Dad. You have a good day.
It's good to see you too, John.
I saw something else. Oh, Carol said you're such a pretty cat. He's embarrassed a little bit, but he'll get over it. Yeah, I don't think he's that embarrassed now that I think about it. He's going to probably take another nap. Carol, I watch them do that out here too. I had one they couldn't reach or couldn't get into otherwise, and I watched them. They learned how to hook their back feet on the wire that holds it up, and then they would hang head first down over the feeder. In fact, I just saw one do it, and they could get to it that way. Just completely stretched out. One of them was hanging upside down eating the whole time, so I don't know how that works out for them, but. And the corn cobs I put out, they were hanging off the hook and stretching out like that to eat the tops of the corn cobs because they could get to them better. They're just, they never quit. Well, there's a big one. I just heard one holler. Yeah, they fight every once in a while. A couple of big boars are kind of territorial. That might have been a cat. Hang on just a minute, guys. Let me. I think somebody's at the door. Is that spooky out there? That sounded like it, didn't it?
Well, how's everybody doing?
There you are, buddy. Hey, bud. Yeah, number one cat was at the door yelling. He's got to come in and see what's going on, didn't you? Come here. This is him. He's the old man here. He's the old guy. He's 20, probably going on 21 now. But he's kind of getting old and crotchety. He fusses about things a lot. I mean, fusses. He gets right up in my face sometimes. He sleeps on a heating pad. He's been doing it for years, and his heating pad cuts off now. There's something I got to get him a new one.
I'll have to share this video with you that I saw this morning. It's a cat. The YouTube channel is Owl Kitty,
Yeah.
and this person has a black cat, and he figured out a way on how to. He puts the green screen in the background, and he has all of these things, and he replaces whatever is in like on a movie clip.
Yeah.
He'll replace whatever animal is in there with his cat. So this morning there was a scene from Jurassic Park where the T-Rex breaks through the fence and is flipping over the vehicles. Well, it was his cat doing that instead. Yeah. So I'll have to send that to you. It's pretty funny.
What do you think about
So
that?
the only way to get the cat away from the first vehicle was Dr. Grant, instead of taking out a flare, he took out a can of cat food and opened it up, and he was waving it around in front of the cat, and then he threw it away. And
Let's say that might work. Let's get some squeeze treats. Hello, Nicole. I don't want to mess up your last name. Is it Rodenheisler? I hope I'm close. I probably butchered that, and I apologize up front. Good to see you. Thanks for the thumbs up. I hope you're having a good weekend so far. We kind of start the weekend off fairly early here. There's going to be YouTube fun all day today, not to mention college football. Right? No coffee? Yeah, this is our dumpster cat. My daughter found him when she was maybe a senior in high school, or after she graduated. She worked at a Ruby Tuesday's restaurant in the mall here for a while, and she found this guy hanging around the dumpster. He was just a little bitty guy, and probably been dumped out there, left by somebody. And or maybe out of a litter that the female cat left there. You never know. Anyway, she brought him home, and we ended up keeping him. And he's always been kind of a run. He's not very big. He's the smallest cat we got, and he's 20 years old. He has the same access to the same food and everything that the big guys eat, but he never has been big. He just never got big like them. He just stayed small. And I guess for 20, he's still doing pretty good, but I don't think he hears as good as he used to. Although I'm not sure about that. I think he's just learned to be more selective.
That's sad that somebody dumped him, but at least he found a good home.
Yeah, It is, and he got dumped early enough that he wasn't weaned, because when we first got him, he didn't have any hair on the end of his tail, and I've learned since then that that's because they call those suck tail kittens. They will suck on their tails because they got weaned too early sometimes. And we thought maybe somebody had done something to his tail, because the other thing, he's scared to death of plastic bags, like a grocery bag. If one makes a noise or flaps, it scares him to death, and nothing else seems to bother him much. So I always figured somebody probably threw him in the dumpster in one of those bags or something. But then again, maybe he just don't like them. But so that's the only thing that ever scared me. I wasn't afraid of nothing else. Man, he is an excellent mouser. He's the best mouser. He's fast. He's still quick, and he still jumps good. I mean, sometimes he acts like he don't want to jump up on something, but he can. And he still chases a red light around the room if you move it. You have an Anubis, Kay. That's kind of cool. Who won, the rooster or the cat? I'm not sure I'd want some roosters. I wouldn't want my cat going after. Have you ever seen the video of speaking of cats going after and protecting it? There's a really good video out there, and this was on the news, of a kid that was out in the yard, and a dog attacked the cat, came around the car, snuck around the car. You could see the dog sneaking around the car from the neighbor's house, and attacked the little boy out in the yard. And
oh yes,
was really after the boy, and their house cat came flying around the corner and attacked that dog, and hit that dog at a full run and bowled that dog over. The dog went rolling down the yard, and the cat was all over him. And that dog took off with his tail between his legs. That cat whipped that dog's butt. I mean,
yeah, and I couldn't remember if the dog had rabies, and that's why he just kind of went crazy and went after that kid. Unfortunately, the child was okay.
Yeah.
But he did have quite a few cuts, and I think they still had to take him to get checked out. But boy, seeing that cat just go after that dog like that, I mean, he was just that cat was just all over that dog.
He was all over him. They talked about that cat was raised with that little boy. He'd always been with that little boy. And just goes to show you that cats can be protective or possessive, just like a dog can be. I had a dog that was that way. I mean, we had an Australian Shepherd years ago, and he was a pretty good dog. He wasn't trained really to herd or anything, but Brenda had this little terrier thing that was a mixed breed of some kind, and she was not very big. She's about the same size as Spooky, I guess, and black. And one day I was there working. I was working a night shift or something, so I was home, and her father, my wife's father, came over to the house, and he brought this guy with him. I'm not sure what they were doing, but the guy was a preacher from where her mom went to church or something, but he brought his little boy with him. And so we're all out on the back patio, and like I said, I don't remember why they were there. And I heard something, and I looked behind me, and the kid was hitting. You know how kids are. He was a toddler. He wasn't a baby, but he wasn't very old. And he was walking around by himself, and he got hitting at the dog. He got hitting at the little dog. So the bigger dog, the shepherd, stepped over her, got her between his front paws, and leaned out to the kid and growled, don't do that again, or I'm going to bite your hand off, you little Dickens. And he was very protective of us. And the dog, the other dog, he let that kid know real fast that he wasn't going to tolerate, her abusing his friend there. He was very protective. And he was that way towards us too. He was always kind of guarding the house. He was a pretty good dog, I have to admit. The mailman got him. At least that's what the guy told me. Ran over him one day. Hey, Teddy, you coming back for more? Kay says that her girl cat is protective. Well, that's cool. I don't know how protective he'd be. Teddy stays with me all day, just about all day long too, and it has since I've been sick or down. I'm not sure he'd fight for me, but at least he hangs. At least he hangs around. And he'll if I lay down on the couch, he likes for me to go lay down on the couch because he can get up and lay on me. He'll lay on me till I fall asleep or something, then he'll get up and go lay on his bed. According to Brenda. No, I've not seen cats attacking gators. I'll have to look that up too. I'm telling you what, though, cats might be cats. They might be aloof, but if you get one riled up, they're the right situation. They're not afraid of anything, I don't think. I believe a cat can go. I've always read, been a wildlife person, I've always read that cats can return to a more natural state quicker than most animals, domestic animals. A generation or two in the wild, and a house cat goes feral really fast, and they start changing back towards more of their wildcat origins, and I believe that because I tell you what, a feral cat can rip you up faster than anything. It's like a buzzsaw. Shelley Starwalker, excuse me. Good morning. Oh, actually, good afternoon. You're right. Good to see you, ma'am. Are you someplace special today? I can't remember. Were you going somewhere? Everybody, welcome in Shelley, one of our really good resident photographers. I foresee Shelley being famous someday with her photography. She should be if she's not. She is definitely the best photographer I know with the least experience I know.
Oh, she's a great photographer. I love her sunset pictures.
Yeah.
And the one video, I remember going back to alligators and cats. I remember seeing a video where this alligator, it might have been a young alligator, I can't remember, where it was coming up on land, and I can't remember if there were one or two. But then this cat chased him back into the water.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. I think they might have been out just doing their sunbathing, whatever they call it. Yeah. And this cat wouldn't have any of it.
No.
Just kept striking them right on their nose. And alligators just said, okay, I'll leave. Don't worry.
Well, I thought I saved this picture. I don't know why I thought of it, but I thought about another image. JPEG. Oh, I know why I put it in the wrong folder. Well, if I can fix this and find it, I was going to show a picture. Not of a cat. This was just something popped up on my screen and made me think about an apron again. Well, where'd it go? Well,
Kay, I definitely would not want to be attacked by a big cat.
Now, there's a guy, I've seen the video of this, and turns out the guy works for a company out in Utah that sells knives. A knife, not, they don't make knives, they're just a dealer, wholesale or whatever, but it's called Blade HQ. And he's one of their workers is kind of famous for this video. He was hiking in the mountains out there, and he walked up on two cubs. He was just on the trail, and he walked up on two mountain lion cubs. Now, he knew better than to mess with them, and he started backing off instantly. But the female came after him, and he started backing up down the trail. He stayed facing her and backed up as much as he could. And man, she was coming after him. If you've ever seen that video, she was coming at him with both front paws, and I'm going to say she was bluffing, but she was definitely moving him back, which is what she wanted to do. But
very
if
protective.
she had gotten a hold of him, I have no doubt she would have ripped him to pieces.
Oh, yes.
Let's see here. Shelly's been somewhere. Well, I just tell the truth the way I see it, Shelly. I've been looking at pictures most of my life, and yours are good.
You know where I'd like to go, Shelly, is Mackinac. I would love to go up to Mackinac one of these times. Mackinac Island.
So that lighthouse is near Traverse City. Again, I apologize for my talking. My tongue's doing weird things still. I've not been to there. I've been to Sheboygan. I've been to Mackinac, Mackinac Fort. Been out to Mackinac Island once. Crossed the bridge a couple of times. Been through the UP, but we stopped. I took a few pictures, but that was all pre-digital, so it's all on slides and stuff. Let me see if I can find this.
You know, it's interesting that they don't have any cars on Mackinac. They have the airport there, but everything else is horse-drawn carriages or bicycles.
They have an airport on the island?
They have an airport on the island, yep.
I didn't realize that. I guess I didn't pay that much attention.
Yeah, and the way that everybody gets to the shoreline, it's basically like a taxi service. It's a horse-drawn carriage, come right up to the airport, pick you up, and bring you to the coastline or wherever you want to go.
I knew they were all. I knew they didn't have cars, which I thought was cool. I'm going to change this. Not going to change the subject. Here's a link to that guy getting attacked by the cougar. If anybody's interested, this is actually I think it was on CBS News or something that I saw this originally. But this guy, I've actually heard this guy talk about this attack. He said it's pretty scary. Like I said, they do videos, they shoot videos, YouTube stuff for their knives, and just talk about stuff. And he's been on there several times, and they call him the Cougar Man now. But he was, we rode the ferry over, Shelly, when we went. That's how we got there. Yeah, that's a big kitty. Did you see him, Shelly? Her, I should say. There's another video that actually shows the cubs up near those bushes, and that's how he walked up on them. He got pretty close without meaning to, and he just kept backing up and backing up and backing up, and she just kept chasing him down the mountain. And
Carol, I heard that
there's
the
one of
fort
the kittens right there in the video now I'm watching, but she was she was not to be fooled with. Which is an interesting thing about mountain lions. Hey, there he is. Kyle, that's him. Mountain lions are different than bears. Cats and bears are different, like night and day. And
well, the thing is with mountain lions, they tips that I tend to give people who are hiking, and I saw this on a show about mountain lions. They always say never hike alone. You always want to have a buddy with you. You always want to have like a conversation, make some noises, something. And for the most part, mountain lions will go the opposite direction from where the noise is coming from, because they like to hide. They're sort of, I don't want to say skittish, but they're
elusive. They don't necessarily want to be seen.
Right.
Unless that happens to be the right time of year and they're looking for something.
Right.
I've known several people that have been stalked by mountain lions in the mountains out west. And there's been some attacks out west. I love mountain lions. I think they're amazing animals. What was that about a pistol?
Or a pistol.
Yeah, that's a good idea too, I think.
Yeah.
But
the other tip,
they're interesting. They're cool animals, but they will stalk. I known some guys that were bow hunting, and they realized at some point, because if you've ever spent a lot of time in the woods like that alone, you can sometimes feel that something's watching you. And I've had it happen and turn around and see a bobcat in a trail or something, but but mountain lion's a whole different thing, and usually they're sneaking up on you.
Well,
they have been known to attack, and they would probably see you as a food item.
Right.
Now, in this case, where this cougar attacked, she was attacking a threat to her kittens. So I can see how that would be. That's a different thing. That's just like a mama bear. They're gonna nothing. You don't want to get between a bear and her cubs. That's just bad cracker.
Oh yeah.
That's probably true, Kay. I never heard they had 100 names, but they're called pumas. They're called panthers in some places. Our old mountain people up here used to call them painters, which was just a slang for panther. But you'd hear them talk about, there's a black painter up there in the mountains that lives in a cave. We used to joke about that a lot because there were mountain lions here a long time ago. They've been gone. They've been gone for a long time. They think they may be coming back, but there's still been little actual evidence of them moving in. I haven't checked recently, but they think the cats that they have seen back here are released animals, where people have gotten one for a pet somewhere, which there are places you can still do that, and then realize that they can't take care of a panther or a cougar. So they just decide to turn it loose because that's the best thing to do. It's not the best thing to do. It's the worst thing you can do. And they may have, Shelley. I'm not saying they haven't. They've got them in Florida. Not blacks. Well, black is a color variation that happens occasionally. It can happen anywhere. They're not really a different species. They're just a different color phase. You can see black leopards in Africa, and if you really look at them, you can still see the spots on them. But but it's not a different animal. It's just a color phase thing, and happens occasionally.
Right.
Actually, black happens less than albinoism. I read once, but you can have a black panther anywhere. But anyway, like I said, that last time I looked, I'm not sure if they found anything here that proves they may be back in the area, but it wouldn't surprise me if they don't eventually, because they're adaptable too. Even the biggest predators we're learning more about, they are somewhat adaptable. Bears are everywhere now here, and I can remember when you rarely saw a bear outside of the Smoky Mountains, which was famous for its black bears, and the area surrounding it, of course. And then up around where I lived, we had a bear sanctuary up on top of the mountain, and we would see them up there. quite often.
Well, apparently down in
Hey,
Florida.
Garrett, good morning. Good afternoon. Not so early now, is it? Yes, there are black jaguars. That's right, Kay. Jaguars are amazing animals, but no more so than most cats. But jaguars, uh, I hiked around in some jaguar country. Every once in a while, they get one up in lower Arizona or New Mexico or even I guess Texas, and they have had a few come that far north, but they're still alive and well and probably endangered. I mean, I say alive and well. They still exist. I'm not sure what the population is in Central America, but they are still out there, which is amazing that such a big cat can uh, has managed to survive in such populated areas. But jaguars are cool because they like water. They like to they'll get in water. Tigers will too, though. Um,
Yeah, I think those
Lions aren't so
are
crazy about it. Cougars aren't so
no,
crazy about it, but
nope.
jaguars and tigers are.
Yeah, they seem like the only two that are pretty comfortable with swimming around.
Yeah, and I've seen videos of jaguars taking
They're
catching like a
similar to
small alligator or
alligators.
something in the
Yeah.
water and dragging it out of the water.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
that's a cat, Kay, that will grab an alligator. That's for sure.
Oh yes.
So what's Garrett doing this morning? Or morning for you anyway.
Good morning, Garrett.
Oh, that would be so cool, Shelly. I'd like to hear jaguars at night, or in the wild. That would be amazing. I got to hear something maybe even more rare than jaguars in the Smokies one time. Um, they tried to reintroduce red wolves in the Smokies, which was a native southern wolf that's pretty much gone. And I got to hear them howl at night, which was pretty cool. I never thought I'd hear that. But they had a few in the Smokies for a little bit, and then they pulled them out. But
Now, I heard that the mountain lions in Florida are slowly making a comeback too.
they are. I don't know what the populations are, but yeah, they have black
Yeah.
bear. I mean, they've got black bears down there too. I mean, I used to think it was weird because Big Ben was on. No, not Big Ben. Gentle Ben was on TV. It was a story about some kids in Florida and their pet bear or their friendly bear. And I used to think, no, bears aren't in Florida, but bears are in Florida. In fact, they're along that coastline, that whole coastline. So it's very possible. Like Shelley said there are probably mountain lions or cougars down there too. They're all the same cat. Even South America has a puma / cougar / mountain lion, and it's the same species. There may be some subspecies variation, but as my friend says, you'd have to probably put them in a blender to figure out the differences, but to go cellular. But they're basically the same cat. They do have a lot of different names, depending on where you're at.
Got to watch out for those cougars. I better not say anything else. I don't want to get kicked off.
Well, Annie Cougar's not in here today, so what is case and nothing like the royal line. I could go to sleep to that sound as long as I knew I wasn't. I wasn't bait. But I've heard them on live streams at Disney, and I've heard them I think once maybe when I was down there, and they're really cool. I mean, they make a lot of noise. That's not a sound we hear regularly in this part of the world. So
there's a live stream that happens every morning and evening on a YouTube channel called Wild Earth, and it's where it's a Wild Earth.
Oh, so okay.
If you look up Wild Earth, in the mornings, well, your time it would be because you're on Eastern time, right?
Yes.
So for you, it would be 9:30 to 1:30, and in the evenings, I think they start at 11:30 your time, which is actually their morning. their morning is our evening and their evening is our morning. So, but they do two live streams and a couple of drives, and now they're starting to get into their summer season. So you'll see lions, leopards. I mean, they see leopards every day. Um, Elephant galore. Cape buffalo galore. It's really interesting.
Cool. I'd like to go over there sometime and see.
I would too.
With a good camera and spend some time taking pictures for while that wildlife is. Well, hopefully it won't ever be gone, but I still am amazed at the number of elephants that get killed every year. It's amazing. I heard something interesting the other day, and I don't remember who was telling me this. It may have been somebody in this room for all I remember, but they've said elephants have, because of the pressure there is on for ivory and has been for a long time, that elephant tusks are actually starting to be smaller than they used to be.
Yeah, they are.
Elephant tusks aren't getting as large as they once did.
Mm-hmm.
Some people think that's a reaction and evolutionary type reaction to ivory hunters, which makes sense that it would happen over time. But to see it happening maybe in our time would be pretty amazing.
They are, and it's noticeable on those live streams. You'll see the older females. Their tusks are much smaller than what they used to be. Even some of the older males, whereas these days they might have a few of them out there. It's very rare to see a giant tusker out there these days. But even some of the older males that are in their 40s or 50s, their tusks aren't getting as big as what they used to be.
Well, that kind of makes sense. I mean, for a long time they hunted the big ones with the biggest tusks. So that's kind of a reaction to that. If you don't want to get killed, don't grow big tusks. So.
Well, and elephants are starting to make a slow comeback there too, but I think it's Botswana. They opened up to hunting elephants again, and I don't know why. I think that's being fought, which I'm glad it is.
Yeah, I don't know either. I know the locals have some issues with elephants and crops and that sort of thing, but even that's. I don't know what that was.
And elephants are they're extremely smart. They know they can know the difference between every type of grass, which grasses are good for them, which ones make them heal faster, which ones help their stomachs, to make them feel better, there's so much. There's ones that give them more energy than others. It's really interesting in how they know all of this information.
Yeah, and I guess Disney had something to do with this too. They figured out that they're afraid of bees, honeybees, so they put, you're talking about it right there. So they started putting honeybees around farmland over there, and it keeps the elephants out. I mean, who knows why, but they don't like honeybees. And I thought I read somewhere that they discovered that partially at Disney World because there were some beehives down there. And they figured out that kind of, so now they started putting them along the fence lines and some places in Africa, which helps, and they actually keeps the elephants out of their gardens, if you will, which I think is pretty cool. Who knows why they're afraid of them? Maybe they go up their trunks and sting them. Maybe they get in their eyes. I mean, who knows why an elephant be afraid of a tiny little bee, but or in comparison.
Apparently they fly up their trunk, might bother their trunk.
That's a little bit. I figure it is, because I'm sure that would be a bad lick if they. Not only would it probably hurt, but they could have a breathing issue if they swell up inside. I mean, I don't know. I'm speculating there, but It's got to be something like that, but apparently they know to stay away from them. So, yeah, it's pretty amazing, isn't it, Shelley? That they have so many muscles in their trunks. If you stand around and watch one like at a zoo or something, they can do pretty much anything with their trunk that we can do with our hands, arms, probably more.
Right. Well, it's neat how and the African elephants, they other than, I mean, there's so many differences between them and the Asian elephants or Indian elephants. Their trunk, on the tips of their trunk, the African elephants have, they're like fingers. The tips where they can grab even the smallest piece of grass off of the ground and eat it, put it in their mouth.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it's 12:30. I think I actually meant to try to, I'm frozen over there at least. Are you guys? Oh, there I come. I was frozen for a bit on my live screen there. Sorry about that. I was going to cut off about noon because I knew there was a lot of people streaming today. So, and I hate to leave, and Shelley and them just got here. So,
I love the African elephants too, Shelley.
What do you mean? Oh, we have 600 muscles total. Wow. I never really checked in on how many muscles we had. That's amazing that we've got 600 and they've got 400. Is it 440,000 in their nose alone, or in their trunk? Excuse me.
It's interesting how they communicate too.
Yeah.
Through their feet, they can, other than their trumpeting, they have they could pick up the sound of an elephant or another animal species walking either away or towards them. And the way that they do it with the tips of their foot, they'll like rub it on the ground back and forth, and that's another way of communication. Elephants are really interesting.
Yeah, they've learned a lot about the communication part in the last 10 years or less. So,
yeah.
And they communicate somewhat like in whales. In a way, they use a low frequency. They've figured out that some of the low frequency sounds that we don't even pay attention to, or maybe don't even hear, they can hear. And usually that kind of the sound travels through ground better. And they can feel that and hear that from some distance off too. So that's
Yep.
pretty neat. They're just now figuring that out. But okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to let people go do other things, which I'm not trying to keep them here anyway. What's Kay saying here about World Wildlife Fund? Yeah, I know what you mean, okay, those things really touch your heartstrings. I'll tell you the ones, but talking about baby animals that are adorable, I think some of the most adorable baby animals out there, and I'll say this out loud, are rhinoceroses. I think rhino babies are they got these big old clunky feet, and they got these little heads, and they're still several hundred pounds, but they're adorable.
You should
Brenda
hear them
likes them a lot.
vocalize
She's always
too.
going on about baby rhinos.
Yeah, you should hear them vocalize as a baby also. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's just funny. All right, guys, I'm going to go watch football, I think, for a while. I'm starting to lose my voice. My mouth's getting a little bit dry, which is a little irritated. So I'm going to, now he's at the back door. They're knocking for more, I guess. Their squirrels are up to the back door. They must be empty. They must want more seed. But I have enjoyed this morning. I'm glad folks showed up. And in a couple of weeks, I may be on the road. And if I am, I may try to do a live stream from somewhere else if I can get a connection. We'll have to see about that. But I should be here next week. And if everything's working and I'm still working, and as I say, usually the creek don't rise, we'll be back live and in person. And it's so good to have you guys around. I really appreciate you all being here. I'm very thankful for you folks, especially you regulars that come in and talk, because it's always a good time.
It's good to see everybody.
My cats. I know my cats would take some out of the tube. They love it out of the tube. That especially Spooky. He thinks that's become a nightly thing for him. And man, does he get loud when he wants it. All right,
It's
folks.
good.
I really love y'all. Glad you're here. Thanks for coming. Hit that like button if you don't mind. Hit the don't like button if you do. You know, hit the subscribe button and ring that bell if you get a chance or feel like it. And we'll be back here again in the next week or two. Chris, thanks for jumping in, buddy. Been too long. We'll have to do some more of that. And
yeah, I had a lot of fun. Thank you for
it's always good to have somebody to talk to.
It's good to see everybody.
Wait a minute, Garrett. What do you mean you expect a check in the mail? I got to pay for you to be here? I thought I just had to pay you for being a moderator on your list. Oh, Dave's paying you too. Man, you're making money hand over fist on this thing, aren't you, bud? Next time you call me, we're going to have a discussion about this. It's getting expensive on some of us. I'm a retiree. I've got fixed income. So you better think about that, Garrett. You can only milk me so dry. Anyway, guys, go have a good time. Have a great Saturday. Hopefully you're like it is here. It's a beautiful day outside. Hopefully you won't be stuck indoors. If you are, then enjoy whatever you're getting into today. And I hope everybody has a safe and happy weekend, and see you guys next week, if not sooner somewhere. Probably see some of you on live streams today eventually. I'm sure I'll be online here in a little bit. At least watching. Have I frozen up again? I can't tell with the delay. My head seems to be moving, but I'm not doing anything. All right. Sorry if there's been technical problems. I apologize for that. One less meal can pay for you. Well, it depends on what you're already eating. Right now, I'm just eating soup. So I don't know about that. You might have to rethink that. How about if I send you a bag of ramen noodles? Would that work? I'm back on a student diet here. Bowl of soup and water. I'm going to get tired of eating things I can't chew here pretty soon. I already realized that, so I can't wait till we get these teeth put in. Anyway, guys, thank you again. I really mean it this time. I'm going to sign off. See you guys all around on the next spin, and take care, everybody. Have a good day. Thanks, Chris.
Yep.
I'm going to end the show now. I really mean it.